for Periscope producer. So with me tonight is Jennifer Fletcher. She is an amazing woman. She is a firefighter in Arizona, and she is how tall are you, Jen?
5'3". I'm about Lindsay's size.
Yeah. So she is a very petite young woman, and she is a mother of two kids.
Two.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to talk about the power of choice tonight. And yeah, so Jennifer, tell me about yourself.
Um, my name's actually Jennifer Stirling.
Oh,
I'm
I was just going with what I knew.
because I sign as Jennifer Fletcher just so that it doesn't waste time. People would be asking constantly. Um, you know, I play the trumpet. I'm in an orchestra. I do a lot of firefighting work, wildland and structural. I've been trained to do. I actually majored in music at Arizona State. I have two kids. One's 9, one's 7. I'm actually getting married next weekend.
Congratulations.
That's exciting. Thank you. To another firefighter who works in California, and does. I guess that's me in a nutshell. I love I love food. I love natural things. I love learning about new things. That squeaking is the dog. Sorry.
Yes. Hey, Hannah, thank you for coming in. So you keep saying Lindsay. Who is Lindsay? For those that don't know.
Okay. Lindsey Stirling. I work for her from home.
Nice.
On top of the other things that I do.
And yeah, during one of the sound check parties, we were talking about you, and she goes, "Yeah, my sister's a firefighter. She's my size. She's nuts." And I'm like, "You're a dancing violinist, and you're calling your sister nuts?"
Yeah, it comes to us naturally. We do crazy stuff.
Yeah. So how did you end up going from a music major to firefighting?
Well, the music's helped me in a lot of ways. I mean, I play the trumpet, so I love playing in an orchestra. I could never quite see myself playing full time in an orchestra. It's incredibly competitive, and I didn't love the music enough. Same as Lindsay. Like it's just kind of okay. I'm tired of this, and it just really didn't appeal to me enough to pursue it as a full time career. It's kind of a thankless job, and so I take Christmas gigs and Easter gigs and things like that, and I'll teach private lessons, which I love doing from home, and that allows me to be a stay-at-home mom, which was always kind of my goal anyway. But I was married for 10 years, and that marriage ended. I needed a career to support my family, and I didn't want to teach in a classroom setting, and I wanted to keep music fun. And obviously, I do a lot of the sheet music and all of that, but it was part-time work, and I just thought I need a career. I need something full-time that I can call my own. And I was thinking about my kids and what I could do to be home as much as possible, so that I wasn't doing the 8 to 5 thing and just running myself ragged and never seeing the kids anyway. And firefighting came to me. It felt like inspiration. I was just like, yeah, that's it. Because you work for 24-hour shifts, you come home, and then you're home for a few days. And so it just felt right. And I wasn't sure how it was going to work out or why I felt good about such a thing. Because everyone who I talked to was saying, oh, are you crazy? You're too small. And I was like, watch me. I'm going to do it. So
That
actually,
seems to be a reoccurring theme in your family. You
it
know,
kind of is.
you
Like,
can't
tell us
do
all and we'll say
violin, you can't write a book.
yeah, you can't do it. It's like, I'll show you. So, and my ex said, no, you can't do that. You're too small. And I said, well, I'm going to do it, and you're going to pay for it. And he did. He was actually very supportive. He paid for my schooling to get trained, and so that I could do it. And then I did really well. I graduated at the top of my class, which was crazy because pretty much everything we did I was terrible at. I mean, starting out, I sucked at everything, and I would go home and cry. I'm like, what am I doing? Just what am I doing here? But I practiced. I did what it took, and I was able to pretty much, I graduate at the top of the class. So it goes to show that even if you are terrible at something, you can, you know, come out on top if you try. The whole size thing kept, being a problem when I started interviewing. Even though I'd graduated at the top of my class, people would look at me and say, "You're tiny," and it became. I mean, it was hard to get a job as it was. It's very competitive. So I was going to special places to actually do the workouts that the firefighters were doing and show them, hey, I can do it. See, look. And I was at the point where I was getting, turning some heads. People were actually noticing me, and got an interview with Phoenix, which was, I think it started out with 6,000 applicants, got down to the last 60 to 100 people. And then I broke my arm. And got to the interview, and it was like, I gave it my best shot. I thought it went really well, but couldn't fix the broken part. So I didn't get the job. And by that time, I was pretty much out of money and out of time. I'd kind of gone through my savings and trying to pursue the firefighting full time just to get the job, and it didn't work out. So then I was like, now what? Like, why did I feel so good about this when this didn't work out? And I kind of looked at the broken arm as, okay, this is God trying to tell me something. Like, this is a reroute. What is it? And I was really confused for a while. And then, long story short, I was guided to Wildland, and it was too late in the season. I shouldn't have been able to get a job. No one was really hiring anymore. And just with the federal way that they hire people through the government, it's nearly impossible after they close the application processes. But I ended up getting 5 offers for that summer, just because I knew I was going to get a job. So I made about 100 phone calls, and it happened. I got a job in Springerville, Arizona, which is up in Eager, Greer area, a lot of cabins, kind of a vacation area, and ended up being stationed up there for the entire summer.
Nice. And I saw those pictures. You got pretty filthy doing all that work.
Yeah, I mean, there was one time we went out of state too. Once the fire season in Springerville was over, they basically say, "Hey, we're available," and then you can go anywhere. So anyone from any other state can hire you to go fight their fire. So we went to Wyoming, New Mexico, Kanab, like in Utah, and fought fires there. There was one, I think it was 6 days straight that I wasn't able to take a shower. And this is like sweating all day long, getting filthy, the smoke and everything. And all I could do was wipe down at night and go to bed. I mean, at the end of some of those days, that's all you want to do. You don't even want to eat. You make yourself eat and you go to bed.
I've been that tired.
Yeah.
It's you're like, no, you need to eat, otherwise you're gonna feel worse.
Yeah.
So,
Because I think on the really hard days, you burn about 6 to 10,000 calories in a day.
wow, that's quite a few.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
huge.
So there's a story in Brooke and Lindsey's book, and it's about you when you were a kid running a marathon.
No,
And
it's not quite a marathon. 3 miles.
3 miles. Well,
Yeah.
for me, that's a marathon. Um, so you ran it, and you weren't feeling that great, and you still made it all the way through.
Yeah,
And
I hyperventilated and almost passed out because I was so nervous, and I was ranked number 2, I think, number 1 and 2, and they were kind of hyping it up, and I ended up placing 10th, but it was all I could do to finish that race. So it was the best I could do that day.
yeah, so what made you continue? You could have stopped. Now, what made you continue?
During that race.
Yes.
Well, me, I was the first place girl. She was by far. I mean, she was definitely the more talented athlete. She'd been injured all summer or all season, and then she was just coming back. But I beat her time at regionals, and so that's why they were making this big deal. But everybody, I knew she was better than I was, so she finished, and then it was me and this other girl who was very, very, very good, and we were way ahead of everyone else. And so when my body started shutting down, in my mind, I was like, I'm almost there. I just have to get there before the others catch up. And so I was doing everything I could to get there before the other girls, got to the finish line before I did. So it was desperation. Like, they're behind me, but I've got some time. I've got some time. But I was going so slow. It was like picking one foot up after another. Couldn't see. Was blacking out, and I think I was about 10 feet, 10 or 20 feet from the finish line when I started feeling the girls passing me, and it crushed me, because I was like, I've lost, and I couldn't get there fast enough. So I think that was a big part of it, and just not wanting to give up, not wanting, I was always taught, you finish what you start, no matter what. And if I had any possibility of doing that, I was going to do it.
So your family is quite amazing. Can you tell me about the influence your parents had? I'm sorry, that was just cute.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah, I think the biggest thing, honestly, was just how much we knew that they loved us, and the trust that they gave us, and the enabling power that they basically offered us, which was, you want to do something, it's going to be hard. You're going to have to work for it really hard, but we'll help you. Like, we'll be there. We'll do whatever it takes to help you. And it's not like they had a lot of money or could buy us everything we wanted, or, all the best equipment, but they would sacrifice to give us whatever we wanted in terms of our goals and ambitions to make it happen. And so we knew how little our parents had, and we could see that, mom hasn't bought herself a new shirt in 5 years, or, she's wearing the same shoes she was wearing, 10 years ago. And so it meant more to us, I think, those things that they were giving to us, because we knew what they were sacrificing to give it to us. And so we felt obligated to work hard for those things. I remember when I was in high school being very serious, like, I have to get a scholarship. I have to get a scholarship, because I didn't want my parents paying for it, because I knew that they always said, we'll pay for your school if we'll help you. I was like, they can't pay for my, like, they would, but no, they're not going to pay for my school. So we wanted to work very hard because we loved our parents so much, and because we knew how much they loved us. And I think that was the biggest motivating factor, honestly, is just feeling that kind of support and not taking it for granted because of how much
Nice.
it costs.
Yeah. College is very, very, very expensive.
So are
And,
lessons.
huh?
So are lessons, or
Oh yeah,
sports, or you add
yeah.
that over sports as well.
Um, we have something in common. I was a music major in college myself
Oh, nice.
for
So
guitar, and
yeah.
to get free lessons or subsidized lessons, I helped out in the beginning guitar class for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I take the people that were having difficulty and take them aside and get them on par with the class. And I always found it very, um, it brought in a sense of humility
Mm-hmm.
that, you know, yes, you're getting this, but you're helping others doing it, and really
Mm-hmm.
earning that subsidy.
And it means so much more when you have to do that, when you have to give up something to get something.
Yeah. So, growing up, what was growing up a Sterling like?
Lots of drama. I mean, every day was, 3 girls in the house. So we were always arguing, and there was always some meltdown, or, we were always fighting. But yeah, we'd practice our instruments. We'd play silly games like with the neighbor kids, like cops and robbers, and we rode bikes a lot. We ran around. We played a lot of tag, a lot of active activities, I guess. We also did a lot of board games. Always had dinner together. I think that's something that not everybody does, that I always took for granted. I just thought everybody eats dinner together, but my mom would always make a meal at the end of the day. It wasn't always extravagant, but we would always sit down and eat together. We always had one night a week that we spend as a family. Like every single week, we would spend Monday night together, no matter what. And we always supported each other. Whatever the other siblings were doing, we'd show up, we'd cheer them on, we were excited, and
Nice.
we did a lot of reading together as a family. Our dad would read to us out loud. Uh, we would read scriptures in the morning, and my mom always made really big breakfasts. I think in high school, I think it was Brooke who was like, "Stop making such big breakfast, Mom. You're making me fat." Like, she would make this huge breakfast. She's like, "It's the most important meal of the day." But I mean, she worked so hard,
I'm
and she
sorry.
still
It's
does.
why you think of Brooke saying she's fat. That, yeah, she's anything but.
Yeah, I know.
So going into high school, high school is one of those periods in life where, you know, and college, where we're really trying to discover who we are.
Mm.
And, we make a lot of choices at that period of life. And can you tell me about some of the choices that you were making? That
Yeah.
didn't come out quite the way I wanted, but there it is.
Okay. Well, I kind of felt, I feel like if I could go back, I wouldn't have overextended myself so much. I felt like I had to do everything and be good at everything so that I had options going into college, that I could get a scholarship doing this or that, the other. And I didn't have a lot of fun because I was just working I was working constantly. I got less sleep in high school than I've ever gotten like college since as a mother. I mean, I think I averaged 5 to 6 hours a night for 4 years. And because I was taking accelerated classes, doing 8 hour, I had a job that I would do once a week. I did my church things, and then I was in the marching band and the cross country team. It was too much. Um, so I wish I'd been a little more selective in my choices, but it's what I chose to do, and I think it taught me time management, how to multitask. I mean, I somehow got it all done, but it was a little nuts. And
Yeah.
I did have a lot of options when I went to college of where I wanted to go, and a lot of free. I didn't have to pay for my education. I um, got quite a few full ride offers, so that, I mean, in that way it was good. And then I ultimately, I wanted to go to BYU, but I ultimately chose ASU because the music program was better, and their cross country team at BYU was just they're kind of out of my league. Like, they're just insanely good. And ASU, they're really good too. I think they actually placed fourth at nationals while I was there,
Nice.
but they weren't quite as cutthroat as BYU seemed. So it was just a better fit for me at the time. But yeah, I mean, that time of your life, it's hard on that, to be that age and having to make so many choices all at once. But ultimately it defines who you are and puts you on a path that you make adjustments, you grow, you learn. Is that kind of what you're going for?
Yes. I'm glad we are on the same wavelength.
All right.
Ah. So, what would you say to young women who might be facing the I'm too short or I'm too skinny for this,
For firefighting,
for anything in life?
I get it. You're only too small or too skinny or too whatever if you believe you are. I mean, there are girls my size who do firefighting, structural firefighting, just fine, and I think it is harder. You have to work harder. Some people are physically more or whatever, more talented, or just things come more naturally to them than others. But if you want something, you may have to overcompensate to get it. But your life is whatever you want, and if you want to do something that's going to be extra hard for you, by all means, you grow in the process. You might fail and find out, maybe this isn't really what I want, or maybe you'll fail and still want to do it. I'm going to do this anyway. But there's just no point in not trying, because if you don't even try, you're never going to know if it is something that you might want to do. And sometimes the only way you can know if it isn't or is if you at least try. And I would say bottom line would be to pray about the decisions you make and go with, your gut feeling. What do you know to be true? I mean, I think most people know what they want ultimately, and what they don't. Sometimes it's hard to figure it out, honestly, I guess, because there are a lot of times when I thought I wanted something, but really I just wanted something else. Like I wanted recognition. As a cross country runner, I really didn't love running that much, but I wanted the recognition. I wanted look what I did. So I think had I actually liked the sport, I could have been a lot better. Like I could have been incredible. So it's really like what you have to figure out. What do I want? Very specific, and ask yourself the tough questions. What do I really want here? Is it the glory? Is it the money? And figure out what it is, and then go for that, and don't stop until you get what you want.
That's powerful. That's very powerful. I'm gonna check over here real quick, see if we have any submitted questions. It doesn't look like we have any questions.
Okay.
Let me just double check Facebook. Some people like to notifications. Okay, just some likes. All right. Okay, well, since there are no questions, this will be a shorter interview than we originally planned. But Jen, thank you so much. You are a very awesome gal.
Thank you.
Please extend my gratitude to your parents. They did an awesome job with all their kids, and they're awesome people.
I agree.
And so I'm going to sign off of Fearless Fridays for now. Jen, stick around for a moment. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, replay viewers who are probably watching. And we had some issues earlier, which is why I'm holding the phone. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night. Okay. So thank you so much. I wish the technology had worked with us.